Hey y'all, it's Bennett, and it's time to go over another Saturday's worth of yard sale finds. And by Saturday, I mean Friday and Saturday, because this was one of those weekends where I was able to hit at least one yard sale on Friday. Yeah, occasionally you'll see them, and I guess they're out there trying to give people as much opportunity as possible to show up and buy their stuff. And so as it happened this time around, after I dropped the kiddo off at school, I looked on the yard sale app and saw that a sale was about to get started in about 15 minutes. So my wife and I drove out to check it out, and it looked like it was going to be a complete non-starter, but you never skip a yard sale. And so I went into the spot where they were still putting out things as I was looking. So looked around, didn't spot anything that looked like it was going to be for me, but of course I asked if they had any games, and the lady said, "Oh, you mean like those over there?" And sure enough, there were some Xbox games sitting on the table where either they put them out while I was looking over there somewhere, or I just completely whiffed on them. But yeah, so I said, "Oh my," and I went over and checked them out, and here's what I came out with. Well, anyway, let's get to it. Fusion Frenzy for the original Xbox. This is a kind of party game that, I mean, I guess is somewhere near like a Mario Party kind of thing. I already have it, I'm sure, so this will be for sale or trade. You know, there you go, Fusion Frenzy. This is Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise for the Xbox 360. Now, unfortunately, no disc in this one, so that is a bummer. But I do have access to the game on the on the rare replay game on the Xbox One, so I can play it, and I can be on the lookout for a loose disc to fill in the box. But you know, can't win them all. Then there was CSI Hard Evidence, also for the 360, and complete with upside down printed manual. It's very valuable misprint of the manual here, where the whole thing is upside down. Never mind. Yeah. And then we had Totaled for the original Xbox, and it's a smashing cars thing. That's always fun. Also complete. And then we got Dead or Alive Extreme 2. I think this takes the stars of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball and makes them, puts them in other games besides just volleyball, like riding jet skis and doing other, you know, cruise ship kind of activities, like, you know, whatever. Anyway, Dead or Alive to Extreme 2. And finally, the you know, pick of the litter is Silent Hill 2 on the original Xbox, and it is complete. And I mean, if this was the one for the PS2, that would have been super amazing, extra special. As it stands, the one for the Xbox is also, you know, fairly valuable, and I already have a copy. So this one will be something that I can sell to pay for everything that I'm bought here. So that's always exciting. And before I wrapped it up, they said they wanted $2 a piece for these, and I didn't even haggle at that price yet. But I did see something else that struck my fancy, and added it to the bundle and got all these games plus what you're about to see for a total of $15. And that is the complete Nightmare on Elm Street collection on VHS. See Freddy there. And yeah, now these are not the very first run of VHSs for these. They're not, this one didn't come out in 85. This one came out in, sometime after 96, because it says, the first word in terror from the creator of Scream. So this is our, post-Scream release. But I'm thinking this is probably the last Nightmare on Elm Street VHS release at any rate. So yeah, got Nightmare 1, 2, Freddy's Revenge, 3, The Dream Warriors, 4, The Dream Master, 5, The Dream Child, Part 6, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and then Wes Craven's New Nightmare, all on glorious low-definition VHS. Do I have a VCR to play these on? Not really. So they're just going to go up on the shelf with the horror stuff and look cool with that Freddy, made out of all the boxes together. So, like that. Of course, my wife is super excited that I brought that home, but whatever. It didn't cost anything. So they wanted $1 a piece for the tapes, which is a bit pricey, really. To be honest. But it was Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was definitely going to get it. So I asked if I could get the games and the tapes together for $15, and they said sure. And that's what I like to hear. So that's what we did. So that was Friday. That was a great start to yard sale time. That's cool. I don't need to have them in good condition. They're fine to be dropped on for. So the next day was Saturday, and of course I got up bright and early to hit the yard sales. And let's see what I found. The first thing I found, it was the coolest thing I found on the day, I would say. It was at a completely random stop, and it is this here Nintendo Power Pad from the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but you get the idea. Run around on that, and or more likely do that over and over until you get the high score on track and field or whatever. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's, wrinkly, obviously, but it is in stupendous condition. Like, I've never run into one of these in such good shape. And not only that, I asked what they wanted for it, and the guy said, I don't know, $1. And I said, sold. So, yeah, got me a power pad for $1. And I asked, of course, if they had any other video games, whether, for Nintendo or anything else, and the guy said, I think I have the box for that power pad somewhere. But he was unable to put his hands on it at the time. I left my information with him, but I don't really expect to hear back because, it just never happens. But if he happens to run across the box and says, ooh, where was that? What was that guy's number? And hopefully he'll text me up and I'll go get the box for this. That would be awesome. And he said if he finds any other Nintendo stuff or games, he would also let me know. So the word is out there, but all told, $1 for a original power pad. I've never had one of these in my collection because whenever I do run into them, they look like they've been trampled on for years, and they're just always in terrible shape and dirty and gross, and they also are usually going for like $20 or more, depending on who's trying to sell them. So finding one for $1, that's living the yard sale life right there. That's how we do it. So we move on to another yard sale where I looked around and I saw a PlayStation 4 game. It was one of the NASCAR Heat games, and I'm not into NASCAR racing or anything, but I asked if they had any other game stuff, and they said no, their kid had already like sold off his stuff, and all they had left were a couple of things that they found like in his room or whatever when they were doing the yard sale. So that was the NASCAR game and this little guy right here, one of the little Joy-Con grips for your Nintendo Switch, and they wanted $1 for this and $15 for the NASCAR PS4 game. Or, you know, if I got the PS4 game, they would throw this in for free. And I was like, nah, let me just get this guy. So another $1 out the window and got a extra Joy-Con grip, which, you know, always comes in handy. At the next score I got was in a neighborhood yard sale, and I went from house to house, not really find anything for me, but I did finally run across a family whose kids had put out a few PlayStation 2 and 3 games. Really nothing that I wanted to take home, but they had this guy for $5, as you can see right there, and it is Power Gig Rise of the 6-string for the PlayStation 3, and it is complete and included the little dongle for Power Gig guitars. I don't think I have a Power Gig guitar, but I figured for $5 it would be worth taking a chance on it, that, you know, maybe I could sell this with the dongle and pay for the rest of my yard sale day. And you know, I haven't done enough research on eBay to see exactly how much I can expect to get from this, but I'm sure it'll be, well, I guess more than $5, I hope. And if not, I guess I'll just keep it and be on the lookout for a Rise of the 6-string guitar. You know, I got plenty of Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, and I love playing those things. I don't really need to play another one from a different company there or whatever, a different series. But here you can see who all is on the soundtrack, and I'm sure it's amazing. But for now, I'm intending to sell that on. And yeah, I got that for $5. I didn't bother haggling on that or anything, because the kids, there were 3 of them, and they were out kind of divvying up the money themselves. So like, when one of the kids, you know, that would belong to one of the kids, and he was like, "Ooh, that's my pile, you know, put that $5 on mine." And, you know, the girl was off selling whatever she was selling and, you know, taking the money for that. So I didn't want to be like haggling a kid down to $3 or something in front of his siblings there. You know, the 5 is fine. And lastly, at a yard sale near that one, I picked up this amazing Super Mario hat. Originally it had a mustache that went along with this little costume thing, but you know, this version of it was only left with just the hat. And I asked the lady, you know, how much she wanted for it, and she said, "Oh, this actually goes with this other like whole costume over here." And I was like, I don't really have a need for a whole costume for a like 5-year-old or whatever of Mario, but I kind of wanted the hat to display, or what I really want to do is use it as a dust cover on some system or another. Maybe the mini Nintendo system would be the best bet, but we'll see. But anyway, she picked up the other package that had like the whole costume in it, and it actually had the hat and mustache already like still with it. So, and then she said, "Oh wait, I know the deal. We had the old costume for the older kid, and when it was the younger kid's turn to wear it, they had already lost the mustache, so they bought an extra hat with mustache just for the mustache. So now I get the hat for $2. I said, "How about one?" And she said, How about 2? I said, you drive a hard bargain, but I'll tell you, I'll take it. So Mario hat. It will definitely not fit on my watermelon head here, but it'll fit on some system or another, or at least on the shelf. And finally, outside of yard sale time, just kind of on my way home, I swung by a thrift store and picked up UFC Undisputed 2009, something I would not have bothered with, but it was $1.01. So PS3 UFC game for $1. Doesn't have a manual, but I'll take it. And I also picked up Lord of the Rings Conquest, which is for the 360 and doesn't have a manual in there. But yeah, this is one that I already have, and price charting says this goes around like $15 or so. So I intend to sell this on as well and pay back for everything else that I bought. And anyway, this wound up being $1 and something, like a buck of $1, $2 probably, even though it was not marked thusly. And finally, a DVD copy of Star Wars Episode 4, Star Wars. And this particular copy on DVD, well, first of all, it says right here, with Planet of the Apes. So it has a loose DVD of the Mark Wahlberg, Tim Burton Planet of the Apes from the year 2000 or so. So not so good. But hey, I got it for free. So that's a nice throw in, I guess. And but then it has this particular version is the one and only way to officially get the theatrical edition of Star Wars on DVD. And they put it as a special feature on disc 2, and it's not even like formatted to fit your screen. It's got the black bars for the widescreen, but it's not like anthropomorphic or whatever it is, anamorphic, and doesn't have good surround sound. It's not cleaned up in it or anything, but it is the non-Lucasified version of Star Wars, so that's pretty cool to be able to run across this version of it. Now, fortunately for me, I already have all 3 of the original trilogy in this series that came with the original versions, so I have those already at my disposal, so I can pass this on to others who might need it more than I do. Of course, the best way to get the original Star Wars experience these days is the despecialized edition that some saints online have put together using high definition materials and everything. They got it up to Blu-ray or 4K quality or whatever, and taking out all the extra scenes and shenanigans that Lucas just kept on putting in the late 90s. But as far as official releases, if you want to see the original theatrical cut of Star Wars and not have the good old Han shoots first version, this would be the way to go. So a pretty cool find at the thrift store. And that about does it for my Saturday. I had a real good time. I did not spend hardly anything on all this cool stuff, and even what I did spend, I'll be able to pay myself back for with selling off the things that I have doubles of. So that's how we do it, and I know that's what you want to see, right? So yeah, like I said, we will keep on doing this and keep growing the collection, and I will keep bringing you all the cool stuff I find out on yard sales and thrift stores and good stuff like that. And so you might as well subscribe to see the next video and like and all that stuff. It's really cool. Those of you who are subscribed and viewers, I really appreciate it more than you could know. It is amazing to think that people want to see me go on and on about old games and movies and stuff. So thanks for being on board. Okay, until next time, have a good one. Bye.